Welcome to Mr. Moon has left the building. I am Sam Palmer.
Hello, I am Addy Chard. How are you, Sam, this week?
Oh, not good this week. It's been a bad week for West Ham, and that.
It feels a bit flat, doesn't it?
Yeah, I feel flat. Even, do you know what? I've kind of blocked it out of my mind, but I feel a bit flat, and now it's brought it all back. Having to do this podcast.
Or maybe you could use it as a therapy session.
Yeah, exactly. So
we're
going to go for obviously the Leverkusen game and Fulham at the weekend. Let's start with Leverkusen. You went.
Yeah, I travelled out there, flew into Cologne, and then Leverkusen's just about a 15-minute taxi journey, train ride away. Absolutely nothing in Leverkusen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's nothing there basically. You go to the sort of town centre, city centre, whatever it is, and there's just nothing going on, and it just makes you think, how on earth has a place like this got such an amazing football team? But we went into Leverkusen, then come straight back out and went into Cologne, where the majority of the West Ham fans were. Cologne's actually quite nice, and it was a great laugh. It always is. These European, trips are always such a good laugh, and the fans are in, top form. It's actually a nice day as well, weather-wise. So yeah, it was really that part of it was good fun. But yeah, Leverkusen won the great.
Here's something that I've got to mention about West Ham away in Europe. One thing that I absolutely hate, and I saw the video of it, the ball being kicked in the air.
Oh, yeah.
What are your views on the ball being kicked in the air?
Yeah, I don't really get it. I mean, it's something that always happens, doesn't it? I don't put it this way, I don't get involved with it. But
you just stand on edge all day, don't you?
Yeah, and they really drill it at people. So you have to be on edge because you can get it. A few people did get it whacked in their face. So
do you know what? It just because if you don't know what I'm talking about, so basically they get a football and they boot it, and when they're in a town centre, they boot it as high as they can, and it just falls out the sky onto people's heads, basically, and people head it, and but it's where everyone's drinking. So if you're not watching, it catches you on the top of the head or the jaw or the table, and the glasses go everywhere. You know what it is, when we go to city centres, I always see women walking through with a pram, and I always think, if that ball lands on a baby or something, what could happen? And you think all having a bit of a laugh, but then it becomes a bit serious, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I saw a West Ham fan got hurt bad out there as well, didn't he? Did he get run over by a tram or something?
I wasn't aware of that.
I'm sure I've seen that on really bad injuries. I think he got dragged under. Did they have trams there? Or a bus? Or no, I'll tell you what it was. I think it was a road sweeper. I'm sure that I saw that. If it is, I hope he's all right. I heard he is all right, but but apparently quite bad injuries he had. I think he got dragged under the bit. With the bristles on it. I think he got dragged under that. He must have been pissed or something and fell over, or maybe not. Maybe just fell over.
No, I didn't hear anything of that.
When you see cities with trams, though, they do come close, don't they? You do forget about it, didn't you?
I mean, Freiburg, they had trams. So I'd imagine there probably was trams, because Freiburg had trams, and a lot of European cities do have trams. But yeah, you have to have your wits about you, and
because you can't hear them, can you? So they just come, don't they?
Yeah, and they're coming from the opposite direction to our traffic as well.
Yeah,
so you do have to have your wits about.
I've been nearly caught by one of them. So good day out. Everyone was in good voice. Was there a lot of West Ham fans there?
Yeah, I think we had a couple of thousand out there. I mean, I think we only had just over 1,000, 1,300 tickets, but I think there was a couple of thousand West Ham fans out there. A lot of them were saying that they thought it could be our last one for a while, so they just wanted to come out there.
Yeah,
which is understandable. But it was great fun. It was, we had a really good time.
What was the atmosphere like?
Do you know what? I think the West Ham in the stadium. I think the West Ham fans that was one of the best West Ham atmospheres in a European away game for a long time. I think everyone knew, you know, we're sort of on a hide into nothing, and they just wanted to get behind the team. And you know, as the game went for long periods, we was doing so well, and the fans didn't really stop singing for a majority of the game. They were really good. The Leverkusen fans were they were good. Not the best atmosphere I've been to in these.
So it wasn't like a Frankfurt or.
Not really. No. Frankfurt, as we said, was amazing. Freiburg was amazing as well.
Yeah,
to be fair,
I saw that.
Really,
yeah,
but Leverkusen wasn't. It just seems like a really sort of nice family club, Leverkusen.
Yeah, it does.
Do you know what I mean? It's but I mean, it was. They had a lovely stadium. The stadium's really nice, and it was. I was really pleased I was there. You know, quite lucky to be there. And the West Ham fans were good. They were really good.
I thought, as I was watching it, it's funny, you switch from trying to be like obviously defensive and you look and go, we have done this, an absolute masterclass of doing it. Like I thought we were brilliant in defence. I thought every player done their job, and we were just, to be honest with you, the goals weren't even really anybody not doing their job. It was just, they got the goal, didn't they? It kind of, they had that many shots that kind of, one of them went. I thought Fabianski was unbelievable.
Great game, didn't he?
Great game. And I thought he did against Fulham as well. Thought he was very, very good.
He was.
So we were just, and I saw Moyes after and just said, like, these are a Champions League team. And I've heard the moans of we didn't go at them or anything like that. But I think if we went at them, we would have got battered.
Yeah.
But in some ways, Gary Lineker say about Palace versus Liverpool. And he said they went and had a go at them. They went toe-to-toe with them. And at Villa as well against Arsenal at the weekend. They went toe-to-toe with them and said, you know what, we don't care. We're going to play our game and take it to you. And they got results. So that is the flip side of the argument. So
yeah,
I do
get it. It's a good argument to have. I mean, I agree with you that I thought we played. You know, if we was going to get a 0-0 out of that game, it would have been an unbelievable result. And even a 1-0 would have been
1-0. I think was perfect as well.
So the way we played, in effect, was, you know, was good. However, you kind of, if you play that way, you have to get the result, because then it's like, do you know what I mean? Because it's like, well, you might as well have had a go at them.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen Karabag score 4 goals against them into over 2 legs. The Azerbaijan giants. So you can obviously get at them, and so it's like, you know, we've got a good team. Should we have had a go? Personally, I think, you know, we've seen that Moyes gets these results against the big teams by, you know, low block, nicking something on the break. And we've seen it this season. We've done it a couple of times and it's worked. It's worked well. So you can't really knock him for, you know, playing that way. But yeah, it's always in hindsight, you think, you know, it wasn't the right decision, or it was. But we played well for a long period. And for me, it was just frustrating. We clearly needed fresh legs. And
I was just about to say it.
To have nothing on the bench to bring on, it was just a little bit too much for them. And that's the most frustrating thing, because in effect, you know, I don't know if it's Moyes or the board, but I just feel we've been let down. You know, it's another opportunity. Like, was it 5 games away again from Champions League? And if we'd invested in January, you know, it could all be so different. But yeah. But
it seems madness now of letting Benny and Fornals go.
It's
like absolute madness. And Kera as well.
I mean,
these are not performing players, though.
As long as you replace them.
Yeah, exactly. We've lost, like, Benny was our striker. Look, he was very poor for large amounts this season. But not replacing him is ludicrous. Now you look at it, and I saw some saying there was money to spend, but we didn't spend it. Now, I think you can't really blame. You don't know who to blame with that. It'd be nice to know who is to blame. Like, is it Steiden? Is it Moyes? Is it the board? Because that bit is definitely where we're going to get undone this year. And I think our season could unravel. I think actually David Moyes' job could be gone because of the depth on our bench is outrageous, actually. The fact, we'll go to Fulham, Cornet is only coming on after George Earthy. That just shows you where they think he is. And I think Moyes is one of those people. He has to have 100% trust in you to be able to put you in there. Maybe some of these players do just need a run anyway. Like, it's hard to say, Cornet. Like, we've never actually seen him, have we? What we've ever seen of him has been terrible. The only one thing I think he done was that thing against Chelsea where it wasn't a goal. He did score another one. He did score one for us, didn't he, in another game?
Was it Sheffield United? He scored that goal, didn't he?
Yeah. But he's been terrible signing for us.
Really bad signing, yeah.
And I think injuries haven't helped that again. But the bench is just awful. Like, you look and you... Well, there's two subs, isn't there? There's a Gerd and Ben Johnson. That's it. They're two defenders. And you look and go, where else is the... And I suppose Fabianski. The goalkeepers we've got no problem with, but the bench is just dreadful. We've got basically 11 players.
I don't know, it just beggars belief that they've signed off on that in January. I can't understand. We're obviously going to get injuries. We're playing, extra games in Europe. We need bodies. Like, I don't understand how
and we've operated such a thin squad for many years.
Yeah,
so
we have.
You look at them players that have played pretty much every game they're fit. Souček, Soufal, Antonio, Bowen, Cresswell, Fab. Zuma. They've played nearly every game over the last few years. Souček, I bet's played 99% of our games. So, and you see the other clubs, they say, well, with Europe, it's been tough and things like that. So you can understand it is tough. We're playing every couple of days, especially in the Prem, to come back to the Premier League and put a performance in. But when we're missing them top players of ours, we just haven't got a big enough. It's not good enough. Without Bowen the other day and Alvarez, we was in trouble. Yeah. And then the stupidity of bookings this year. And I'm going to have a go at him here. Paquetá.
Yeah, rightly so.
I do not see him lasting a week at Manchester City. If he played if he does what he does with us. The stupid bookings, they're giving the ball away a lot. Both goals on Sunday came from him losing the ball in midfield. Look, I know he's a creative man, and I love him. I've got to be honest with you, but I think we are his level. I really do. I think at City, I just don't think you ever... And someone told me I was completely wrong. Well, he'd go to City and he'd do something different. But why would he pick up stupid bookings for us and not for them? Because we've seen him do it for Brazil as well, against England. He should have been sent off in that game. That, I think, the Alvarez bookings... Emerson's another one. This is his second ban of the year, isn't it? Them three have really cost us in games, and they're so vital to us. Because as soon as Pac was booked the other day, he was in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just a nothing. And I don't know what's going on in his head at the minute, but that challenge to get that booking so early in the game, knowing that you're going to miss. He knows how important he is to the team, and yet he just has these crazy moments. I don't know if he'll ever lose it. I think he's always going to have that about him.
No, and I think Alvarez. I think it's a flaw in them. Every player has a little bit of a flaw, and I think that's one of theirs.
Yeah, I think with Alvarez though, that's part of his game. He's going to go flying into tackle. That's what he does. Who is it? The Fulham lad Paulinho, who I thought was fantastic on the weekend.
Brilliant, wasn't he?
He's the same. He gets loads of bookings because he just charges into, if he gets stuck in, puts himself about. So in that position, I think it's part of the game. Some of his bookings are silly and needless, but in that holding midfield position where you've got to make lots of tackles, lots of interceptions, stuff, you're going to get booked. But Paquetá, just needless, half of them.
Yeah, playmaker. You just, what do you need? And like, some of them throwing the ball away. Doing like there's just such. If you'd done it in a kids' team, you'd get hammered because he's costing us, and that is the. And sadly, I do feel Moyes has been a little bit let down by that in some ways. Yeah, against Freiburg, could he have taken Alvarez off earlier? Yes, but these are international players. You shouldn't be telling them you don't need to. You can't be doing silly challenges.
Do you think there's been lots of talk that people are just saying that Paquetá's head is elsewhere now?
I don't think so.
It was in the press the other week that he's agreed terms, which it's just probably just paper talk, but. I don't know. His behaviour and his performances lately haven't been good. I don't know whether he's just frustrated because for the Leverkusen game, he just walked straight off the pitch, didn't he?
I saw that.
And I think that was more
frustration in himself.
He's
lost.
Frustrated with himself. The way we played, like for a playmaker to just be running around trying to shut the ball down, it's not fun. He would want to go out and try and win the game, definitely. So I think it was, given the benefit of the doubt, and I think it was just he's frustrating with how the game went and how we played. But it's not a good look.
No,
just marching straight off. And you do wonder. Is he? I don't know.
I saw yesterday that Manchester United could come in for him. Now, that move I understand a lot more.
Really?
Because they need him.
Yeah.
I think, again, it wouldn't be the player they need, let's be honest with you, but I think they need a lot different to that. But I could see him there. I just don't see, at City, I really hope it doesn't, and maybe I hope I'm proved wrong in it, because I really do love him. And if he is to go on to do bigger and better, I just would hate to see him just go there and sit on the bench. But I do not see, Kevin De Bruyne is getting older now, so he's probably got a couple of seasons left. And I think Foden will be his replacement. And Paquetá could not lace Foden's boots, in my opinion. Foden, I think, is one of the best players in the Premiership now. And KDB is KDB. So, yeah. So where does he play? So then if you put him on the left, you've got Doku and Grealish. I don't see him better than either of those. I think Doku is absolutely brilliant. And the right, who'd they have on the right? But he wouldn't be on the right, would he? You're not going to play him on the right. So the number 10, I just don't see where he fits in that. Maybe he plays further back in that midfield instead of Bernardo Silva.
Yeah. I mean, he does for Brazil, doesn't he, sometimes?
Maybe that, next to Rodri. I just don't see him playing week in, week out. I really don't. I think he plays Carling Cup.
He might not, but he's like, for City to have him in your squad is like, we're more than happy if he doesn't play every week, but he can come into the squad when we've got injuries.
Exactly.
But, from their point of view. But I will say that I do feel with better players, he just gets even better. Like that.
Agree with you on that as well.
With Brazil and England, I was just watching thinking, I can't believe this fella's playing for West Ham, because he was the best player of it. He was linking up with all the other players. It's as if they're telepathic in the way they play. And he was just a maestro. He looked so good. And I just thought he must get a bit frustrated with like playing with the lights.
See, I see him at a Barcelona or like Barcelona. I see him there completely.
Yeah, I see what you mean there. Yeah.
Because I agree. If he was with better players, he'd be better. He also wouldn't be doing the workman duty. Although at City, you probably would, because all them players have to work hard at City. Same as Liverpool. I could see him at Liverpool as well, like fitting in that side. Because I think he's, in some ways, he might be better than Jota. And Jota, but then Jota doesn't play each week. But Salah's getting older now. I just hope he doesn't go and you don't see him anymore, because it'd be a shame for football if you don't see him anymore.
Yeah.
Because I think he's brilliant. I love him. And I think with us, you can get away with missing games. You can get away with misplacing passes. But at City, they will not let you get away with that. There's no way. You do that a few times, Pep won't play you anymore. Just look at Calvin Phillips. You never see him ever again. And he doesn't kind of care if you don't step up to it. Well, that's your fault. It's not mine. On that noise, if you could get 85 million for him, would you sell him?
Well, the way he's playing at the minute, you'd kind of be like, well, yeah, definitely. Because obviously we need squad depth, and like we said before, you can go and get two 40 million pound players, or you can get three near enough 30 million pound players.
Changes our squad completely.
Yeah, and looking at our squad and the players that are going to be leaving in the summer, we need quality and quantity. So it might be better, for the squad. But it's just such a shame that we're in this position. I don't understand how we're in this position. This Moyes is.
Well, if you buy older players, that's the problem.
And it's a debate that's raging about whether Moyes should go or stay. And I've absolutely loved Moyes, and this has been the best year of my life. I'm just thinking, going forward, is he the answer for this club? Is this what this football club needs? So I'm really torn, because I know it's not just about the manager, because we need, like you mentioned before, the infrastructure. We need the board to be forward thinking as well, and they seem to be very like, well, as long as the club's all right for now, that's all that matters, rather than future planning. So it's only really worth getting a new manager if the board are aligned with that future vision, getting younger players in, a style of football, the football technical directors, the man bringing the players in. It all needs to be aligned, and there's not many managers who are going to suffer our board, and Moyes does, and he's done a good job with it, really. So
I'll say that as not to have a dig at the board here, because they work in a budget that they keep the club sustainable as well.
Yeah.
So
which is good.
Here's a stat the other day I saw. We have the biggest home attendance in London, average home attendance, but I think we are the 5th highest in ticket revenue. So we bring in the most people every week, average, but we bring in money-wise, we're, I think, 5th in the league, out of 5th of London.
Oh, we're 5th in London.
Why? Because they're keeping the fans happy with cheap tickets. Other clubs, we're cheaper than every other club, because they had that commitment when they went to London Stadium, cheaper seats and things like that. So we bring in, I think it was something like 20 million a year less than another club. I think it's Spurs, which is, really? That's a big, big number. So
that's a lot of money, yeah.
I know what had happened then. They put the tickets up, sacked the board. So it's funny, when I saw it, I thought, wow, yeah, look, they're trying to keep everyone happy. Whereas Spurs and Arsenal, they're thinking about the pitch and commercial success, where we probably don't. We're probably a bit backwards in that sense on the commercial department, but I think that also comes with being in the Champions League, and it goes on. And I think that's where we try and keep everyone happy a little bit, because our fans scream the loudest. But we can't have it all our own ways.
No.
If they put them season tickets up one year, in 2 years' time, we could have a new training ground. That's the money. But then do the people not go? So yeah, it's because what really, if you look at sport in the UK, especially compared to here, sport is so cheap in the UK to take your family to. I know it's not cheap to go to. But here, it's astronomical to go to sport. In actual fact, I don't even know how families do it. In actual fact, only wealthy families can afford it. because to go to the Lakers, to be sat in sort of centre, but not courtside or anything like that, but like central, lower, eye level of the players, that ticket would be between $500 and $1,000 to go to the Lakers, which is taking 2 kids with you. That's $3,000 or £1,500 just to go to one game. You think, how much is your season ticket a year?
Yeah, just under, well, 650, 700 sort of thing.
To watch 18 games or whatever. It's incredible sport in America, how expensive it is. Like it's actually outrageous. So you do see it. I've seen ticket here is about 10, 15 grand to go for the season. I think it's even more than that actually. So there is them bits with the board. Yeah, look, I think there has got to be a bit of planning. That said, it's so weird because I think I don't want to sway away from Moyes really, but the one man, and this is really going to buck everything you've said, who I would love is Jose. I would love him. And there's a reason for. I don't think the board would go for him. I think it'd be too much for him, to be honest with you. He plays our style of football, so we've got a team that he could probably do something with. That's what I quite like. But then he's got that extra winning mentality. But I don't, and I've seen a few fans calling for it, but I don't think the fans would be happy again.
No. I mean, I love Jose too. Always loved him. He's a winner, and that's all I really care about. But I just think with a club like West Ham, we just need that forward planning. Because again, he will only be around for a couple of seasons, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
That is what he does. And I just don't think we haven't got, like we've mentioned before, we haven't got the budgets of these bigger clubs. Even Aston Villa have spent, they've spent really well in these last few years to get where they are. And I just feel we need, I look at the Brighton model, the Brentford model, and it shows it's so doable and you don't need to spend loads and loads of money. You just need to have the right people in places to identify young talent. And I know there are only 2 clubs that have done it, but more and more clubs are moving in that way. And I just think football's progressing now. Even the style of football's progressing now. I watched Bournemouth against Manchester United. I know Manchester United are not great at the minute, but the way they were playing Bournemouth, it's just a kind of a joy to watch.
Bournemouth, how Manchester United, again, VAR, that penalty that was given was outrageous.
It's a penalty, isn't it?
It's like, it just, like, and then the
one they were given or the one that Bournemouth weren't given? What did you mean? The handball? Did you talk about the handball?
The one that Man United got, the handball.
Oh, right, the handball.
I didn't think it's a penalty. It's hit. He's like this. It's hit his arm. It done the same to Maguire up the other end, and it was probably just a little bit closer, and it wasn't a penalty, and rightly so. It hit his arm. That is not handball. I felt sorry for Bournemouth the other day because to be fair, they should have put more chances away. They battered Manchester United.
And they played lovely. They played it in a lovely way, though, didn't they?
It was a lovely game to watch. When I was gutted for them when I come off the pitch.
I wanted Manchester United to lose so we can catch them. But I was gutted for Bournemouth. And I thought but what my problem was, I didn't think that was a penalty, but the ref gave it. So fair enough, VAR is not going to overturn it. It's not clear and obvious. But then the other one, the ref gave the penalty.
And it wasn't clear and obvious.
It wasn't clear, and it's as if they're trying to find something to not give it. If it's not clear, just go with the ref. That's fine. And that's my biggest gripe about VAR.
Because we've seen it in other games given. I don't really understand that. Does the move carry on into the box? Because it did carry on into the box, but it starts outside. It was a foul outside the box. But because it's been given in other games, it should have been given. So I have no idea. None of us know anymore. I hate VAR. I don't even want to talk about it, but I hate it.
But yeah, me too. But just going back to, Bournemouth got no money, no players really of any real note apart from Solanke, and they play really attractive football. And then, yeah, you know, they're not successful yet, but we've got more funds than them, so we should be able to, you know, improve at a quicker rate than them. And I just feel like, I don't know. I just look at our squad. It's aging as well as Moyes has done. It's as if he's just for now. He's just his mind is I just need a successful team now.
Which I suppose is because that's the nature of the job and the West Ham fans. They don't give you any time.
No, that's
so
true.
I suppose
it's a tough one.
If you're a manager, you go, yeah, I'm going to worry about me.
Yeah.
And I get that. I do get that.
I get it. I do get it. I do get that too.
But there's got to be someone above to say, no, you might worry about that, but we're going a bit younger here. We've got to have an age cap, like Arsenal did, like Chelsea have. They've gone probably a bit too outrageous on how young they've gone. But they've Brighton. They have. This is what it is. You're under 25. You're this. You're that. We have to do that. Our scouting network obviously isn't good enough to be buying. You have to go and buy ready-made players, basically, and then it might be they don't work out, and or they get older because they get injuries, and I've said it all season. I think we're in big bother at the end of the season with our squad.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I think you're going to see contracts extended to players that should not even be at the club anymore. With like Antonio. Although I'm not having to dig at him here actually, because he's done all right. But what is he? 30? How old is he now?
34.
34, and he's not a prolific goal scorer. He's not like someone we got to have. Does he work in the Moyes team? Yes, but ultimately, his finishing this week has cost us as well. It was the Leverkusen game where he had that.
No, so could have said that a great chance, didn't he, against Leverkusen, and then Antonio. I mean, he's got to score against Fulham.
Where he smashes it as hard as he can over the bar. Yeah. It's impossible to miss.
And we probably don't lose the game if he's.
No, he wouldn't have.
Do you know what I mean?
And and he's done that a few times. Now, where did he get the one-on-one recently? And did it at a keeper?
Oh, which game was that?
Can't think. I think it was a European game. I've got a feeling where he went through one-on-one.
No.
I know Tottenham. It was Tottenham. One-on-one with the keeper, and he just hits it at the keeper. Done brilliantly. Put Van der Ven on his ass, didn't he? And just like he's not a great finisher. He's not.
No. Instinctive, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's been our striker now for what, 5-6 years?
This is what I mean. It's just
and you see Skamaka come in and play. Like Skamaka scores in Europa quarterfinal. Haller scores in Champions League quarterfinal. Both players were bombed out, and it looks like both actually were decent players. We know that, but they just couldn't play in our system.
Exactly that, yeah.
And how much were both of them each? Skamaka would pay 50 million, didn't we? 40 million? I mean, it was
about 40 million.
It was a lot of money, and Haller was 35 or.
Yeah.
So we wasted that money on players that are not even going to play in our system.
Well, this is what I mean. This is the other thing, obviously, buying. He's done well in some aspects of signings, but a lot of signings, it's just dead money, and we can't recuperate it. And this is money that we should be able to reinvest in the team and make the squad stronger. And we're just losing money on players that don't work out. And it's just like...
And maybe Agaird's exactly the same as that.
That's what I mean.
Like, he is...
Too many players.
You put him in a better football inside, and he's actually starts the moves because he is good on the ball. And they have a better setup where he's not being defended against the whole game with no protection. So it's funny, it was only after Kerrer said it last week that it doesn't really suit his game. I kind of looked at it and thought, okay, maybe that we've got the wrong player in Aguerd, where he actually is quite a good player, but he, against other teams, he wouldn't be just bombarded with balls. And that's where you look and you need... that's why Craig Dawson was such a great player for us because again, he's a better footballer than Craig Dawson. But Craig Dawson was a much better player for us because it fit our system. I think we forget that our system is so different to everyone else.
Yeah.
It's about absorbing pressure for as long as you can and hit someone accountable. With that, you need a good striker.
Yeah. And we also are got one of the worst defensive records this season.
Yeah.
So it's like we've got style of play, and it sounds like I'm bashing Moyes, and I'm not. Well, I kind of am, but I'm not because he has been brilliant. But it's just, we're still trying to play a defensive style when we've got a terrible defense who can't defend. So it just doesn't make sense. And so there's lots of sort of question marks. And it's just like...
The flip side to, obviously, the Moyes out argument is Emery and Postecoglou. That they both identify managers that were forward-thinking and changed their complete style very quickly. Because I don't think Emery's team is much different to Gerrard's team, is it?
I think he's got a few of his own players in, but I don't think he's, I think their spine's more or less the same.
Yeah. Like a lot of them are still there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Bailey was there. Like, look at him. Everyone's saying what a player this Leon Bailey is. Like, you think a few years ago he was like they thought he was a flop.
Yeah.
Watkins was there, wasn't he?
Mm.
Yeah. So they had a lot of the players. So then you look and go, well, style does really matter because they were nearly being relegated with Steven Gerrard, and.
Totally.
So I do accept that. I also do accept. I think, unfortunately, he is never going to win these fans over anymore. I don't even think with another trophy he would. So I think
it's crazy, isn't it? It is crazy to think.
Sadly, I saw Shearer say it again on Match of the Day. West Ham fans, be careful what you wish for.
And that's my only thing because I we've been here before. We tried Pellegrini, Premier League winning manager, and he absolutely stunk the place out. So you do definitely have to be careful what you wish for. But I don't know. I just wonder, is it time to roll the dice? But I only think it's worth it because I wouldn't even take Mourinho because I do feel we need someone, an up and coming, progressive manager. And like we want to. For us, I feel we need to gamble on the next sort of superstar, the next Alonso type manager who fits that mold. Obviously, it's not easy to find, but that's the only way I would want Moyes to leave if we found a manager like that.
And I think the problem is, if you get the manager like that, then you have to have the rest of the squad, the club on top of it, on exactly the same ballpark, because. If we get a progressive manager and he comes in and says, well, you got Zuma who's finished. He can't play the ball out like I want to play. You got Soufal, he's not good enough on the ball for me. Souček, not good enough on the ball for me. Ward-Prowse, I don't think he's there. Antonio, we need to replace. All of a sudden, and they go, well, we haven't got any of the money. Then, because it's such a big... Because if you're going to change the style completely, then you've got to have different players. And that's the worry. So, yeah, do you see this season petering out now?
Yeah, I feel it. I feel, I don't think we're going to turn that around on Thursday against Leverkusen. That Palace game is a massive banana skin. And so if we lose that, that's, what's that, four defeats.
Newcastle and Chelsea were our problem. They always were going to be. Because they're both performing. Chelsea got 3 games in hand or 2 games in hand on us. I know one of them is against us. So that kind of, we can nullify one of those. I think Chelsea got a very good option to finish 6th, which I think they probably will do. Newcastle then 7th. Or Man United 7th. Newcastle 8th. That puts us in 9th. It's still not a bad season at all. But from the position we've been in and not seeing it out, that's not acceptable. Because the games we've lost, Newcastle, Look, we've been unlucky in a few. Villa,
Yeah.
where we should have scored the goal at the end. That goal was a goal. So we beat Villa. Burnley was awful. Like Sheffield United, draw. And you look at them and you think that's where we've dropped points. Fulham at home, terrible result. We should be beating them.
Yeah.
It comes off the... It's funny, you look at every single one of us nearly that was in Europe, all lost this weekend.
Well, yeah, I mean, apart from Villa. But
apart from Villa and City.
I heard we've won 2 out of 9 games after after going away in Europe, apparently.
So, and I will put that down. Look, Man City, I think, changed 6 players at the weekend, and they're playing Luton. So that was a bit different. Villa are it's their first season in Europe. It's our third with a predominantly same squad. Look, I think there's probably a bit of deflation, and I think it came through. I think, to be honest with you, we didn't have Bowen and we didn't have Zuma. And obviously Mavropanos defending there was awful. The next one goes for Agaird's legs, and no one is marking Paulinho, is it? I think. It's outrageous the defending was at points. Fabianski must have made 12 saves.
And that's, I mean, the first goal, I mean, Mavropanos, I don't know what he's doing, but Aguerd, again, I don't know if you watched Aguerd, just absolutely ball watching. Pereira just runs past him. Like, if Aguerd was on the ball, he would have got to that ball first and cleared it. But I didn't think that was bad, because that kind of does happen sometimes in football. It's not good defending, but it does happen sometimes. The worst one was the second one. I don't know if you saw Ben Johnson, who'd only just come on.
Yeah. No, in no man's land.
Mate. Well, no, he just didn't. He
didn't go with him. Runs past him.
And it's just as if he's jogging all the way back, and he's the one who's like. For me, that's just totally unacceptable. But again, like out of this, obviously we've mentioned that we've got the thin squad, but then I don't think any of the players on the bench are happy either. Do you know what I mean? Because they haven't been necessarily treated greatly, and I don't think they're. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think they're that bothered.
Don't feel you're part of the team.
Yeah, they just, you know.
Ben Johnson's come on more than... Well, actually, I saw the other day that Ings was our most used sub, and I don't ever really remember Ings coming on.
That as well, yeah. That surprises me.
I'd be shocked it wasn't Johnson.
Yeah.
Because I was like...
He'd done all right. He'd done all right lately, hasn't he, Johnson? But, I mean, Wolves, he weren't great when he come on. Although he'd done all right when he come on. Leverkusen... He went on for long.
He's not the man to change a game, is he? He's not. And
he's not.
We shouldn't be looking at Ben Johnson as we're bringing on, like, Pele. Do you know what I mean? He's a right back that plays left back and plays left wing and centre mid. And it's like,
crazy, yeah.
Wherever someone's injured, chuck old Ben in there. That's kind of what he is, isn't he? And he's not a top player. He's not.
No.
Good squad player.
That's it.
I couldn't care less if he went. But I could, because it's going to cost us money to replace him. So really, you're better off to give him another contract, because we're going to lose him for nothing. And then actually, next year, try and sell him when he's on a contract and get some money and then replace him that way. It's the smartest thing to do.
I think he wants 60 grand a week, I think he wants, and that's what we're not prepared to pay, which really, in grand scheme of it, you might as well just pay it.
Because it's going to cost you a lot more to replace him.
Exactly.
And yeah, I don't know. I think, he tried, but I say he wasn't good at the weekend again. He's given another goal away. Kid gives goals all the time. All of them. Mavropanos, Aguerd. It was like him. What was it? Fredericks. Another one. Do you remember him? He used to give a goal a week away. He's useless. And he's never been seen ever since. Where does that guy even play now? I don't know what club
I heard someone say that they think that Moyes has already decided that he's not staying. Because obviously he mentioned that the contract's already there. He can sign it whenever he likes. And it's like you've never heard a manager really wait to the end of the season to make a decision, because you sort of you potentially putting yourself
If he's smart, Moyes, he goes. Because he can say, watch it all implode after. Say, God, you should have stuck with me, shouldn't you? And he go and get another job right now. He go and get Palace or someone like that.
Yeah.
Bournemouth, that sort of club, and doing all right job there. Everton, they need him, let me tell you. Because they are shit, Everton. I watch them, they are absolutely awful. And he could go there and be a hero again. Bring them up through the Championship if they go down, and bring them there. And actually, you'd like to see it, to be honest with you. I think I like him. I think he's been harshly treated by people, to be honest with you.
He's been. I can't believe how he's been treated. I really can't. I just
disgracefully, I think.
It is disgraceful. It's another like hounding Lampard out of the club for absolutely no reason. It's another one of them baffling things that I just don't understand. We do.
One of the best Premiership players of all time. Chanting at him that he's fat.
And his dad was
an absolute legend.
That's just
morons. And as I say, like a lot of West Ham fans, I think are morons, and I think unfortunately they have won on this one, because I think if the fans were on board like they were 2 seasons ago, when we were singing the song, still one of my favourite songs, the feel good factor was so good. The manager was with us, we were with him. And since then, since last season, it's done. They don't want him, and they're going to just... Every time you lose, it's his fault. Every time you win, he done something wrong. So it just... I think, unfortunately, for him and his own sanity, he's got to go. But I'm worried who we're going to get.
Oh, I am too. And I could easily see it going pear-shaped.
Paulo Fonseca is, they're saying... One of them. I don't know anything about him. Obviously, I'm not knew him as a player, but don't know anything about him. And I'm very, very, very worried because there's a big rebuild. And I think with losing Paquetá, it looks like you hope you could sell Agard. I wouldn't know what you'd get for him. And then you've got like the others. Where else do you raise money in that squad? Cornet, you couldn't sell him.
And give him away.
I don't think you could, probably for what the money is on. Ings. Is he out of contract, Ings? Or?
I don't think he is.
And I think he'd be on probably quite good wages. So he'd be another one. You couldn't give him away. You're probably paying him to leave. Antonio will get another contract without a doubt. And he shouldn't, really, if you want to progress the club. So you just look, and then you look and go, well, there's only one other player who can generate money, and that's Bowen. And then you've really have... Because James Ward-Prowse, for me, I don't think he's been great. His corners have been great. Like, that has been... And he hasn't been bad at all in any way, shape or form.
No. They call him short back and sides. That's what they call him. And it's true, because he's just a safe player who keeps the ball and goes sideways and backwards, basically. He works hard. He works really hard, and he's neat and tidy. Doesn't give the ball away.
Got exposed against Fulham.
He doesn't.
In there.
He doesn't. He just doesn't do enough.
No.
And that's what I mean. We give 30 mil for him. You know, he's so slow as well.
What he's been... For 30 million, he's been a good player for us this season. The next couple of seasons, we'll see the dwindle of him now. So this is going to be the best we're going to have of him, you would think.
Yeah.
And now you're going to see the dwindle of him, and then you're going to go, oh, how have we still got this geezer? And because of his age.
Yeah.
And they're talking about Harry Maguire, that's going to be another one. See, we both say right now we'd take Harry Maguire, without a doubt. But is that the signing should be making? Tottenham are just going to sign Van der Ven. I know he had a howler at the weekend, but he's a younger player. He's going to. And that's where you look and go, we're not competing as a club. We're buying golden oldies and loans. And Phillips, I think he's injured though. He probably made that up now, like just so he don't have to play anymore. I don't think you'll see Phillips ever again for West Ham. I think that's it, done. And apparently that's a Moyes signing that he needs. But and again, we all thought that was going to work out better. This again. But yeah, it's a tough way. I actually think we're going to do something against Leverkusen.
It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me.
I fancy it.
But then I just think, how are we gonna score and how are we gonna keep them out? That's just
2-0 and we go to penalties. I don't know if we win it, but I think we're going to get to penalties.
Yeah.
Or I think we're going to
get on. Get an early goal and it's on.
I think we're going to have it rocking. We're missing Emerson and Paqueta. And I don't know, is Bowen back?
Yeah, I'm hearing that he got a knee injury in training. And which is worse than the original, back injury or whatever it was. So apparently he's not going to be back for a couple of weeks. But
without Bowen, we're fucked.
I don't know. And that's what I think as well. Because if we had Bowen, I think we've got half a chance. But...
Shove Souček up there. Go long.
Stick it in the mixer.
Where was it? I saw a goal the other day. It was a fucking great long ball. Oh, it was Aston Villa. Long ball. Watkins kept it in, and it was a great goal. It weren't against Arsenal, it was a few weeks ago, but I just think, I don't know why I play at teams that are so obsessed going around the back. It's like, it drives me mad. I actually hate that. I watch City all the time, but I just find their football is so boring, it's unreal. I watched the City Madrid game the other day, and it was just like, it's weird. It's like they refuse to cross a ball. They never cross a ball. They've got the biggest man centre forward in world football in the box, and they refuse to put it on his head. It's so mad, isn't it?
It's crazy.
But yet we'd all want Pep.
Yeah.
It's so the other thing, that poor old George Urphy, what a debut that was.
Yeah, and
it was Alvarez that knocked him out, wasn't it?
I mean, that just sums everything up, doesn't it? Yeah, it was Alvarez.
It went out really quick, didn't he? What was it? His boot that caught him or his knee?
I don't know what it was.
Because they don't show the replay of it, do they? So you kind of...
It did look nasty, didn't it? Yeah, it's quite worrying at first. I don't know whether he'd swallowed his tongue or something, but he looked bright in his first few touches, didn't he? He looked as though he wanted the ball.
Yeah, it was just nice to see him bring a kid on. It was like, why haven't we done this? And then corner, he must be... Well, to be honest with you, when you come on as a concussion sub, when you're 2-0 down, you must think, fuck you now. Like, I'm not. I can't be taking the piss out of like this.
No.
And
you can understand that.
So I can understand. But then you don't know what his attitude's like in training.
No.
If it's great in training and he's been amazing, then it is a piss take. That he doesn't even get used for anything. Like and the same with Ings, really. Like, Ings wasn't great at the weekend, but...
Just didn't get in the game, did he?
His first game in weeks. Like, it must be so hard coming into a Premiership game at 30-odd years of age when you don't play. I don't know where he goes either. I think he's probably a Championship player now, isn't he? He'll probably go and do well down there.
Yeah, no, I think it was. Like, Vardy's still banging him in, didn't he? Although Vardy always had a bit of pace. But yeah, Vardy's about 34 now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Scoring every week, Leicester.
He might even be older than that, actually. But yeah, I think, so we've got Leverkusen Thursday, Palace weekend. What's your predictions?
Oh, can we just, again, acknowledge that I got the Leverkusen predictions spot on yet again.
You did. Let me get my little pad up here. You are definitely winning the thing. So
what do I think?
Eddie went 2-0 Leverkusen, I went 1-0.
Yeah, I just thought we very rarely keep clean sheets, and I just thought they'd have enough to get a couple of goals. But I have absolutely no idea for Thursday, to be honest. My heart says we might nick a draw, but I think we probably lose again. Could be a good game though, 3-2 maybe.
What are we doing it overall or this game? This game, we do this game.
Just do this game. I think it'll be 3-1 or 3-2 to them. I think on Thursday. Unfortunately, I'll go 3-2 because we're going to have to gamble, and so we might get a couple of goals.
I'm going 2-0 West Ham.
Go on, Sam.
Complete idiot.
So, but 2-2 is okay. So that's the 90-minute score. Yeah?
And West Ham to go through on pens.
On pens.
I'm putting that in there.
Can you imagine?
West Ham.
Now, I can remember when the draw for the last round, and I was thinking, as long as we avoid Liverpool, I'll be happy. But now thinking about it,
Leverkusen was the absolute worst. Yeah, the other thing, they won the league this week. Might have been on the piss. Might have been on the piss a bit.
Eye off the ball.
That's my thought. So you couldn't play them in a better week.
Massively.
So they'll have been celebrating a bit, not really mind on this game too much. Going into this game, I think we were already 2-0 up.
Yeah.
That's my only thought of this week. I hope I'm right, but I think we'll probably get pumped about 3-0.
But hopefully we go into the mindset as this is our season sort of thing, and everything rides.
We've seen us do it against Arsenal with a shit bag. And would you... I don't understand why you don't bring a Bonner in like Saturday, Sunday. Why we didn't play Oggy? I don't know why you don't play him, especially
against a big number 9 like Muniz was.
Yeah,
kind of bullied there, didn't he? I don't know either.
It's weird, but and then Palace. What do you reckon, Palace?
Oh God, that could be anything as well. I'm gonna go 1-1. I actually think we lose, but I'm gonna.
And do you know why? I think. Do you know who's back for the first time? Michael Elise and Eze. And they've only ever played 4 games together.
Have they?
Yeah, and now I think with them together, they're a big problem. I'm gonna go Palace 2-0.
Yeah.
And then I think that's the end. And I think that's the end of David Moyes this week. If we lose Leverkusen and we lose Palace, I think that the club make the decision this week that he's not our man.
I think you could be right.
But he always nicks a little win somewhere, Moyes. I'd love to see him beat Leverkusen, even if we lost to Palace. Because you'd expect it after a big game. If we've taken everything out of Leverkusen, you'd expect it. I just think the Elise-Eze partnership, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to live with. So we'll see.
We will.
Well, good luck this week. God, please.
Let's hope. You never know. The next week's pod is a bit more cheerful, and we've, we can.
And it'd be Moyes in. What a man!
A bit more positive.
That's why
and it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if he, pulls something out of his arse.
Yeah, all these older players. That's what you need, experience. I've got a feeling Cornet is going to come on and score against Leverkusen. I really do think that's what's going to happen. I don't know why. When I saw him the other day, because he will go down in folklore for us, and it was a bit like Yarmolenko. Do you remember when he got us?
Yeah.
I
mean, that'd be amazing. I'd be really pleased for him as well, but I can't see that happening.
No, I do. Well, he might not get on the pitch. That's why. So, but we're going to have to play. Who would you start centre half? Because did I see Mavropanos went off on Sunday, didn't I?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be back or not. But I mean, if he's back, I'd play obviously Zuma and him.
Yeah, I would as well. Because taking Zuma out of defence the other day, you noticed it straight away, didn't you?
Would you play Johnson instead of Kufal?
No, I would not. I don't think he's even comparable. I think Ben Johnson's such a bad passer of a ball.
He's just got legs, basically. He's just got legs over Kufal, and that is it.
So we got no Emerson and no let's say we got no Bowen, we got no Emerson, and we got no Paqueta. Who plays left? Because I was just about to say we push Emerson up into that left wing, but you've got no Emerson either. So you got Cresswell. Do you play Cresswell there and put Johnson left back?
No, you can't do that. Maybe Maxi's going to play, you know.
Who plays there? We have nobody.
No.
Literally not one player to play there.
Yeah, it really could be Cornet.
Or who could you play on the right if not? Or up front?
Kudus
could play on the right, but then who plays in the 10 role? Look, we're in big trouble. If we've got no Bowen as well, we're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the team you even put out. Would he go Ings and... Would he put 5 at the back and put Ings and Antonio up front?
Maybe.
And Kudos just behind?
Yeah, maybe.
And then you have the wing backs of Cresswell and Kufel.
Yeah.
It's probably the only really way you can do it, isn't it?
Yeah, you might have to.
And then you go Aged, Mavropanos or something. I'd actually go Oggy if that was the case. I'd go Oggy, Zuma and Mavropanos.
The only thing about that, if we do play 3 centre-halves, is that Aged is very good on the ball.
Yeah.
Which is probably one of the strongest attributes. And he can bring it out and he finds a good pass generally.
Thinking about it now, I don't know who plays there. Because he's not going to play Mbama up front, so you could play Antonio and Kudos out wide.
He might play Phillips, you know. He might. I mean,
Where?
I wouldn't have thought so. And it's a massive in this game.
Well, you got Alvarez, haven't you?
We got Alvarez. Would he play? Oh yeah, sorry. So Alvarez is back. So Alvarez, Souček, and Ward-Prowse as a middle 3, and then Kudos off. Kudos off of Antonio. This is if you're playing wing backs. And then Cresswell left wing back and Kufal right wing, or Ben Johnson left wing back and Kufal right wing back.
Have to. Maybe that's all you've got.
That's all we can do, isn't it?
It's so mad that we've got no Emerson, no Paqueta, and if we haven't got Bowen, that's the big one.
Yeah,
because he's going to have Danny Ings will start. Maybe that's why Danny Ings started at the weekend. Because of that, it could be Danny Ings starting up top.
I don't think it done him any favours, though, did it? Him starting, he didn't really set the world alight, did he?
No. So yeah. On that note, the thought of Danny Ings starting for West Ham in a quarter-final against an unbeaten team, it's goodbye from me.
And it's definitely goodbye from me and all.
Come on, you Irons.